Good morning! I'm here. I'm doing it. I actually haven't given you a good morning in a few days. There you go. How you doing? You know me. Topic of the day. Now we're on the police. Had a little bit of a failure of services there. Ended up getting a lot of people who were incredibly important to the community killed for those failures. Damn. Like, whoa. It's pretty bad. But at the same time, we've got to look at this in a wholly rational way. Now, those officers will lose their job if they don't follow orders. Those officers were doing what they were being told to do because that is their job. Now, you can say cops are cowards and blah blah blah, they're fearful and all this other stuff. But the training says that if you do not feel you have a grasp on the situation, that you can fundamentally operate the way that an officer should, then you take cover and you sit still. And these people didn't know what to do. It's awful. It's a terrible thing. But it was a failure of service, not a failure of a person. See, the service was they weren't trained, they were underinformed, they were undertrained, and they're under-respected because nobody cares about the life of a cop. I just watched it happen overnight on Facebook. Now, I have problems with laws, and I have problems with cops who enforce laws that are obviously not supposed to be enforced the way that they use them to hurt people. Like, there are cops that do that stuff, sure. But we're talking about the fact that police die basically daily. And there are people calling them cowards right now when that's absolutely fundamentally untrue. Because they go at this stuff daily. And you're looking at the failure in one place, applying it to the national, and all it's doing is destroying your message. Like, there are memorials all over this country, not for cops who didn't die, but for cops who did die in the line of fire. So now you're going to go around and try to put all the attention on the failures of police, but what you're really doing is making yourself look angry and hateful. Because there is one really upsetting fact in all of this. Parents are blaming police. Parents haven't voted on a single thing to protect their children. Think about that. Not a single measure of direct defense has been demanded by parents right now, immediately, and then put into place. They wouldn't make enough noise about doing directly defensible things. They just say it's the police's fault. This is a failure of parents. This is wholly a failure of parents. You send your children to that school every single day. Just like I send mine, just like most people send theirs, whether it's a public or a private school, you're taking a risk. And the fact that you haven't done anything to subvert that risk, like vote on defensive devices or teacher training or any of the other things that would be direct actions that could defend our children, you haven't done any of that. You're just sitting around calling police cowards when you aren't even brave enough to vote. Think about that for a minute. You've just got to give them something that works. Because the people at the top are only doing what people at the top know how to do. Circle the drain until a good decision is made. Or everything flushes. We have to be the ones to change the flow. We have to be the ones who vote on something directly defensible of our children's lives, period. I've posted some ideas for things that we could do in schools and training ideas. Like, there are plenty of things we can do. But nobody's doing any of them because they don't really want to do the work. They don't really want to make a difference. They just want the camera for a minute and the politics to be on their side. People like being a part of the public conversation, so to speak. They like being in that space because they like being heard, but they're not doing anything, so they just look like they're bringing emptiness to like they're not bringing anything of substance to this. They're just complaining, saying hateful things about people who work hard every single day. So, just a thought. If you think it's police's fault, Fair enough. I'll concede that you have the right to believe that. I just want you to explain to me how. How is this police's fault? Were they supposed to know that this kid was going to do this ahead of time, considering he had no criminal record? He had no real sign, no direct actionable signs that said that he was going to do something like this. And on top of it, he wasn't really in the commonly considered demographic that people are putting out right now for what to look out for in terms of school shooters. Only recently did they start talking about, well, they could truly be anybody. We had some ideas of what to look out for, but over the past couple years, now they could be anybody? Are you kidding me? Really? Do better. Parents have to do something.